Hey, what's going on, football fans? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and also hit the thumbs up down below on this video. Alright, so for today's video, I will be doing my coaches rankings for the Big Ten and who I think will be on the hot seat going into the 2025 season. And so just like I did with the other three Power 4 conferences, I will be ranking them, in this case, 1 through 18, and I have the coaches color-coded, which means the coaches that are in green, those are obviously safe. They have nothing to worry about. The ones that are in yellow, they're not just yet on the hot seat, but they need to start showing some improvement and start making some strides. And then the ones that are in red, those are the coaches that are in win-now mode, and they must, at very least, go to a bowl game, or else they will be shown the door at season's end. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started. And we'll start from the bottom up, just like I did with the other three conferences. And the first one on the list at number 18 is Barry Odom at Purdue. So, Barry Odom takes over for Ryan Walters. Ryan Walters, his time at Purdue was disastrous. And so this is his first year at Purdue. And so Barry Odom, he does have experience coaching and all that. He came over this year from UNLV. He also used to coach at Missouri. And so Purdue, they're going to have an uphill climb this year. And so Barry Odom, we'll see what happens. It's going to take at least a couple of years probably for them to get back on track. But I got Barry Odom at number 18. At number 17, I have Deshaun Foster at UCLA. So he's going into his second year at UCLA. UCLA got off to a little bit of a rough start, but they got things turned around, barely missed out going to a bowl game. So I think Deshaun Foster is safe, but if they have another year this year like they did last year, I think that seat's going to heat up a lot more. But I think Deshaun Foster is fine at number 17. All right, so at number 16, I have Lincoln Riley at USC. So why do I have Lincoln Riley so low here? Well, expectations were high when he left Oklahoma to come to USC, and it's been a disappointment, I will be honest. 26-14 record there, and keep in mind USC's first year in the Big Ten was last year. So, I think the pressure is on for Lincoln Riley. If he does not perform this year, I think that he's going to be gone. USC just went 7-6 last year, and for some schools that might be okay, but at USC that's unacceptable. This is a school that has high expectations when it comes to football, contending for conference and national championships, and so I think without a doubt Lincoln Riley is on the hot seat. So number 15, I have David Braun at Northwestern. So this will be his third year at Northwestern. Now, in his first year in 2023, when he was an interim, he took over for Pat Fitzgerald when they had that situation there. And he done a really good job. Last year they took a step back, though. But Northwestern, I'm not saying they don't care about football, but their standards may not be as high as some other schools, and so I would imagine that they would be patient with him. And so with that, I think David Braun is safe. I have him at number 15. Number 14, I have Mike Locksley at Maryland. So I know last year Maryland, they lost a lot, but still they went 4-8 last year. And his time at Maryland, he's been there since 2019, 33-41. And you could even make the argument that Mike Locksley should be in red instead of yellow. So, and I know for a lot of those years, that's back when the Big Ten still had divisions with, they were in the same division as Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. But divisions are gone now. So I think Mike Locksley at least needs to get back to a bowl game for this year. So we'll see what happens with that. Number 13, I have Jedd Fisch at Washington. So Washington last year, in their first year in the Big Ten, went 6-7. This is Jed Fish when he came over from Arizona. This is going to be his second year there, and so Jed Fish is a good coach. I think I like the way he turned Arizona around, and so we'll see if Washington in year 2 under him, if he can turn them around. Number 12, and we have our next coach that is on the hot seat, and that is Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. So this will be his third year at Wisconsin, and only a 13-13 record. And Luke Fickell had expectations. When he was at Cincinnati, Cincinnati was the first Group of 5 team to make the college football playoff, and that was back when the playoffs were 4 teams. And so very impressive, but you're now in the Big Ten, much tougher conference, and so Luke Fickell has got to step it up this year. Last year Wisconsin went 5-7, and so they need to start showing some significant improvement. A bowl game would help, but I'm not so sure if that would be enough to save his job. We'll see what happens. Number 11 is Matt Rule at Nebraska. So Matt Rule, he's known for turning programs around. You saw what he did at Baylor, the way he turned them around. I think his first year they won 1 game, and then next thing you know, Baylor, they're contending for a playoff spot, contending in the Big 12, and I think Nebraska is on the right track with him. They got to a bowl game for the first time in many years, something that did not happen under Scott Frost, and so I think Nebraska is going in the right direction here. We'll see if they can keep the momentum going. Number 10, I have Sharon Moore at Michigan. So he took over last year for Jim Harbaugh when he left to go to the NFL. And so this will be his second year at Michigan. Slow start last year, but they ended the year on a good note. Of course, they beat Ohio State for the 4th year in a row. That's pretty impressive there. So they went 9-5 last year, and so I think Michigan could be poised to get back into contention for the Big Ten and for the college football playoff. Number 9, I have Jonathan Smith at Michigan State. So last year, when he came over from Oregon State, they went 5-7, and again, Jonathan Smith, he's got a very good track record of turning programs around. You saw what he did at Oregon State, and I don't see any reason why he can't do it at Michigan State. And so I think this could be a big year for the Spartans. And so I got Jonathan Smith at number 9. Number 8, I have Greg Schiano at Rutgers. So Rutgers last year went 7-6, and Greg Schiano's record is 26-34 as a head coach at Rutgers. So keep in mind he's in his second stint there. And so I think for Rutgers, I think 7-6 is a good season. I'm not saying they don't care, but when you're in a tough conference like the Big Ten, if you can do that, that's pretty good in my book. So in terms of job security, I think Greg Schiano, I think he's safe. I think Kirk Ferentz at Iowa, I think he's safe as well. Of course, he's been there since '99. Iowa, they did improve last year. They went 8-5. Basically got a whole new offense, and so we'll see if they can keep it going here. But Iowa, they improved a lot from the previous year in 2024. We'll see if they can keep it going in 2025. Number 6, I have PJ Fleck at Minnesota. So his record at Minnesota is 58-39. He's been there since 2017. And Minnesota, they had a good year again last year. A bit of a slow start, but finished the year strong. They finished 8-5. They nearly knocked off Penn State late in the season. They won their bowl games. So I think Minnesota, they're in a good spot right now with PJ Fleck. And so we'll see if Minnesota can keep it going. Number 5, I have Brett Bielema at Illinois. So he's been there since 2021. His record there is 28-22. In Illinois, they finished 5th in the loaded Big Ten last year. They went 10-3, won their bowl game over over South Carolina. And I think Illinois could be a sleeper this year, not only in the Big Ten, but for the college football playoff. Remember, they came close. They were on the outside looking in last year, and so I think they very well could potentially steal a playoff spot. I got Brett Bielema at 5. Number 4, I have James Franklin at Penn State. So I think if this is the year Penn State makes a deep playoff run and maybe wins a national championship, I think this is the year to do it. Now, they did make a playoff run last year where they ended up losing late in the playoffs. I believe they lost in the semifinals to Notre Dame. And so James Franklin is a good coach. I mean, you saw what he did at Vanderbilt when he was there, how quickly he turned them around. But James Franklin, I think he's safe in terms of his job security. But at the same time, I think Penn State, if this is the year they're going to win a championship, I think this will be the year to do it. And so there's no reason why they can't at least go to the semifinals or the championship game, in my opinion. And so with that, I got James Franklin at number 4. Number 3 is Curt Cignetti. So I've been talking about turnarounds on this video. What a turnaround that Indiana had. I mean, who would have thought of all teams? Indiana, they're a school that's not known for football. They're a basketball school. And Curt Cignetti, in his first year coming over from James Madison to Indiana, takes Indiana to the college football playoff, and that is pretty remarkable there. And the guy is a proven winner. Obviously, he's done it at the Group of 5 and FCS level, and he's bringing that over to Indiana as well. So good for those guys. And so with that, I got Curt Cignetti at 2, or at number 3. Number 2, I got Dan Lanning at Oregon. So he's been there since 2022. His record there, 35-6. I mean, very impressive record. Won the Big Ten last year, 13-1. Unfortunately, they ended up getting blown out by Ohio State in the playoffs, and so the only thing missing is a national championship, and so that's something Oregon has not had. I know they've been close over the years, and I think Dan Lanning, I think he's the guy to do it for the Ducks, and so we'll see how things turn out. But obviously, Dan Lanning, he is safe. And then number 1, of course, is Ryan Day at Ohio State. So, so Ohio State, obviously, they won the national championship last year, the first year with the 12-team playoff. They went 14-2. They lost 2 games, but one of those losses was to Michigan. So, yeah, you won a national championship, and that's great and all, but you lost to Michigan, and for the 4th year in a row. And for Ohio State, that is unacceptable. And so had Ohio State not won the national championship last year, I think Ryan Day, I think he easily would at least be in yellow, maybe in red. He would still be ranked high. So he's been there since 2019. His record is 70-10. Obviously, that's a very good record. But at the very least, obviously you need to contend in the Big Ten. You need to contend for a national championship. But I think more than anything else, you got to beat Michigan, okay? Ohio State, the fans, that's not going to sit well with them if they lose to Michigan for another year. But obviously Ryan Day, he is number 1 in the Big Ten. All right, y'all, so that is my coaches' rankings and my hot seat analysis for the Big Ten for the 2025 season. Leave your comments down below. Who do you think should be on the hot seat? Who do you think should be ranked higher or lower? Leave it down below in the comments section. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.